Hello fellow Avatar and Korra fans, I'm Avatar.4 here, and I'm here for my top 10 characters in Avatar and Legend of Korra. Once again, if you have been watching my latest videos, you hopefully have seen my new comic reviews with The Search and The Promise so far, and I'm also still waiting on The Rift to get back from my friend so I can reread it, and yeah, that's why I haven't posted that yet, because I'm still waiting to reread it and refresh my memory on it, because I've only read it through once and I honestly don't know as much about it as the other ones to make a video and a full review. So just be a little bit just allow like probably the next week or two, then I should definitely have it by then. But still, for right now, I'm just going to start out like a top 10 type of thing. And I think in my last video I said future ideas, since now that Korra's over until news comes out, maybe in the future, I'll just start doing these like top 10 fights, top 10 episodes, top 10 like, you know, least favorite villains or something like that, whatever, or rank all the villains, something like that. I'll come up with something so it's not that long in between videos anymore. But yeah, in this video, once again, it'll be my Avatar / Korra top 10 characters, and once again, this is just my favorite list. Obviously, everyone has their opinion, and they're entitled to it. This is my opinion, but I'd love to hear your comments and see who your favorite is, why, blah, blah, blah. Do you agree, disagree, for any reason? So yeah, let's get started. I'll work my way down to build up the anticipation for my number one, I guess. Sure. I'll start with a Korra character, number 10, Amon. And what I loved about Amon, he's probably my favorite villain out of all of Korra. I didn't like how they finished the book off, really, with just killing him off and making him be a waterbender and that whole thing, just because, and they didn't really have the time to explain how he got his power, really, and used it and became Amon, really, which would have added a lot to his character, in my opinion. So that's the main negatives about it, just because I loved how mysterious he was. He was wearing the mask, he was so creepy. Finally, we had such a creepy villain for the first book of Korra, and I remember I was so excited and waiting for that big reveal, and it was just underwhelming for me, just because it was a waterbender, and it just kind of took away from the mysterious thing. I was like, how in the world is he doing this if he isn't a bender? And I honestly didn't see it coming that he was a waterbender or any type of bender. But anyway, that was my top 10. I mean, that was my number 10. And now, number 9, Toph. Toph, one of my favorites of the original Team Avatar. However, there's several more before her, and I know a lot of people has her like 1 or 2 from what I've seen on their list, personal favorites. And to me, she doesn't quite get that. I think she's awesome. How, once again, like as I've said in previous videos, I love how Avatar has like a lot of strong female characters. She's one of them. She's blind, yet she can still kick butt. More butt than anyone else really in the group, and she's been in metal bending and awesome. And all that stuff. She's awesome, and even in Korra, as you see, we see her old and cranky, and it's great. And I loved seeing her then. But once again, I just didn't connect with her like I did some of the other ones later on my list. Number 8, Uncle Iroh. And Uncle Iroh, I mean, he's just one of those characters from the original series that I think you just have to love. I mean, he's just kind of like going with the flow, especially in book 1. He has such a sad history with the loss of his son and how he deals with that. There's so much emotion, there's an emotional connection to him that I don't really have with a lot of other characters. And he's just so awesome and hilarious and just so cool how he loves tea, and he he can still kick butt and like breathe fire and all that stuff, and he's awesome, the Dragon of the West. But at the same time, he's just like kind of a fat old man waiting, just like going around with these kids. Earlier, just with Zuko, when I really didn't think he was that much of a villain. He was just, that's what I like about him. There's more to him than just a regular villain. And yeah, I just have a big connection with Uncle Iroh. He's just awesome. And once again, I just think he's one of those characters that you have to love. Number 7 is Vaatu. And Vaatu, it's complicated. Well, for one thing, Vaatu, I think, overall, I mean, there's not much more to his character than just the overall big bad of the season 2, because overall, I mean, he is the spirit of darkness and chaos in the whole world. He's one of the ancient spirits, been around since like the beginning of time, like Rava. But he's so awesome and so funny, just because, once again, a favorite. Technically, he's definitely not a top 10 material, I don't think, but he's just so great. His laugh and everything, his evil laugh that lasts like 10 seconds at the end of one book 2 episode. Just the way he laughs, his voice acting, how he doesn't have a face, but yet he's so scary and awesome. He's just like a kite flying around, as we can learn in book 4. And he's just awesome. I love Vaatu so much. He's so great. Number 6 is Azula. And Azula, I remember being so terrified of her the first time I saw her. It's a definite, like, you go from Zuko being the main villain to her, and it's a big change. I mean, she's pure evil, and Zuko, he has a reason for being evil. Like, he has to restore his honor, he has to capture the Avatar. That's his whole reason, as I'll explain later. When I get to Zuko, I just think she was such a great villain, probably the best in all of Avatar, with like between like Long Feng, Ozai, Zhao, all of them. I think she's the best villain just because of how evil she is, and she's just so manipulative and creepy, and yeah, she's just a great villain. I love Azula. And number 5, Korra. Korra, I started off not liking her very much at all in book 1, and then the same thing in book 2 when she's really unlikable to most people. But her arc throughout, especially now having book 4 and watching all the way through, her arc is just amazing. Just like Zuko's, as I praised his arc so much and saying it's probably like the best character arc I've seen anywhere. Korra's is up there too, just because of where she is in book 4, how she ends up basically sacrificing herself, possibly, in order to save Kuvira, because she didn't want her to die when getting hit by the spirit cannon. She didn't know she'd be able to hold it back with the Avatar stage. She just gave it a try. She put the whole Avatar cycle at risk just to try to save one person. And obviously, book 1 Korra wouldn't have done that. She was so hot-headed, and in book 4 she really became understanding and compassionate toward others, as she explained to Tenzin in the finale before Korrasami happened. Yeah, overall, Korra, she can kick butt. She's awesome. Once again, probably the strongest female character of all of them. Just got me. I mean, she's the Avatar, but she's female. It's awesome. And yeah, I just love Korra, especially after her development. Number 4, Aang. And Aang, I know several people that he's their like absolute favorite. Aang is awesome. He's like, obviously he's the main character, and you feel like pretty much like more emotional. You connect more to him normally, and his maturity is so great. Like, that's his main arc, I think, overall throughout, because he starts out as this childless little kid. He admits it in book 1. Then in book 3 he takes on the Fire Lord, like, honorably, and really fulfills his duty as the Avatar to restore balance when he's like 12 years old. He's just awesome, and as a monk he's really patient, forgiving, and he's just a likable person overall. I don't know how you could really dislike him just because he's so likable. And once again, his maturity, his arc throughout the whole series is awesome. And overall, as the Avatar, I think he's probably the best Avatar. I think Korra did more, but overall, Aang, once again, he's just so easily relatable, and just a great person and everything. So yeah. Number 3 is Asami, and Asami is probably my favorite person or character in Legend of Korra, the whole series. I think her arc overall, even though a lot of times she was kind of pushed to the side, especially toward the beginning of the series, when she got introduced, she was originally going to become a villain. Some other creators, I'm so happy they didn't go that route, but they added more to her and ended up being a love interest for Korra in the end. But aside from that, overall, she's just so cool. How she like, after her dealing with her father in book 4 and book 1, and losing her mother when she was young, and having to, after that, build back future industries and run it all by herself when she's like a teenager, and how she knows all about technology, how she has the Equalist glove, and she can kick butt. She's probably the best non-bender at fighting probably I've seen overall, and how she can fly around planes and everything. She's just so cool like that, how she just has all that technology and knows how to work it. It's just so cool. Just a cool character to have, especially as a non-bender. And a love interest for Korra. Number 2 is Zuko. And as I said before, I love Zuko's character arc, probably the best character arc I've seen anywhere, and I've heard the same thing coming from a lot of people, critics and fans. His arc, and really, I understand him in book 1 when he was probably the most unlikable. Obviously, he started out as the villain, but we didn't really know why until the storm, when we learned his father burned him and sent him off to find the Avatar to restore his honor and come back. That's the only way he would like be accepted again. And it was such a emotional impact for his character, and it hit me, and I was like, wow, I really love Zuko now. He's so awesome. And I kind of wanted to root for him, even when, because I had a feeling, I really did, when toward the end of book 2, eventually, even if it wasn't in the finale, like they kind of teased in Crossroads of Destiny, like who was he firing at? Aang or Azula? I kind of figured that he would join them eventually, just to finish off his character arc, because that's just how it seemed when Azula came in. He really wasn't that bad of a guy. He was just trying to get the Avatar for that reason. And I never really considered him a true villain, not like Azula. But overall, his character arc is just amazing, and his backstory, once again, fight with Ursa, and overall, how his arc is just amazing. Once again, I can't really say anything else. But yeah, I love Zuko. He's my second favorite. And then number 1, and as you've probably heard several videos, I don't know one specifically, but I randomly mentioned how much I love Katara, and yes, Katara is my number 1. I love Katara so much, I'm a fanboy for her. She's my phone wallpaper, especially when her hair's down. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But I'm not only interested in her in that way. Overall, as a character, I just love her as a character, losing her mom, running, like, being the only waterbender left in the Southern Water Tribe, having to take on that motherly role that you saw kind of in the second episode, when how she was interacting with the kids in the village and taking care of all of them, and the healing, and overall, like Sokka said in The Runaway as well, she's kind of the heart of the show in my opinion. And obviously I knew her and Aang had a thing for each other, and they were going to end up together. And kind of like Sokka said, once again, she kind of took that motherly role, but it's not really, yes, sometimes it comes off as unlikable, but I completely understand where she's coming from. Kind of like Toph learned to understand, because when she grew up, she was really young. She had no mother, and she was the only, like, young waterbender, so she knew that pretty much she was going to have to become kind of a caretaker in the village, and also for Sokka kind of being a motherly figure toward him as well, like he admitted. And overall, I just love that, and also a strong female character. Probably one, if not if, like, I don't know who would win, Toph or Katara. They're both like, oh, I don't know, but I'm probably Toph. But I just want to say Katara because I like her. So Katara. Katara, once again. I'm sorry if I keep on repeating myself. I'm trying to just think overall what sum up why I like her so much. Let's see. So yeah, her motherly role, how she can kick butt, especially when she beats Azula. And yeah, she's just beautiful and awesome, and yeah, I can't really say much more. Just overall, as a favorite, maybe not technically a best characters list. She wouldn't be number one. I think she'd be in top 10, but not number one. But and overall, her arc, how she grew from, and when she got to the north, standing up to Master Paku, just because she's a woman, she can't learn to fight. She stood up against that and proved them wrong. Ended up being the best fighter in the whole class of boys and beat them up. She was cool. And ever since then, she kicked butt, became Aang's waterbending teacher overall. And yeah, I just love that. And how she's the heart of the show once again. She kind of holds everything together for me as a show. So yeah, overall, that's been my top 10 character list. And once again, leave comments whether you agree, disagree, who's your number one, why. Feel free to talk to me about Katara, because I love her, obviously, so I can say a lot about her. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. But once again, I'll be back probably fairly soon with my Rift comic review, hopefully. And yeah, bye.